Don't know why I thought it was a good idea to sit here and start recording, because that's probably going to keep squeaking. Right, it's weird how things happen, innit? I waited all them months, like, when, you know, December, January, well no, before, like, no, it was from December, yeah, about this free boat, but like from the beginning of December, all the way through then, into January, that affected what I was doing in February, and even then into March. It's now April, and I think I said, so it should have been in one of the previous episodes, that, you know, I'd gone back to the port the last time I was there from the work I was doing, and probably weren't going to then do that other work that I ended up doing, because I'd gone back to the boat, and the guy about the free boat had said he'd promised he'd give it me, he wanted to keep to his word, but he was waiting until he'd found a replacement. I think I said at the time too, you don't really know what people have going on, so, but anyway, what happened then was, I was back at that port, there was mice or rats or something had got into the boat, and I tried to just think, right, well, I'm going to have to make the best of this, and I did for, I think I was back there, over a week I was back there, in fact, yeah, about 10 days maybe, you know, on a night time, worrying if a mouse or a rat was gonna be trying to eat me while I was asleep, and tried to just then get back into how I could make some money from there, and then in the end I did end up going and doing that job, which then took me up to the 7th of April. It's now the 16th of April, and I should have probably said, if you're watching this up to this point, unless this ends up just going on as a real-time update, but that's not the plan, because I want to just get level, because it confuses everybody. But yeah, I've then come and signed a contract to do 6 months work, because in reality, and what was I going to do, and I've explained all of that already. The day I signed the contract, I had to then come the next day all the way up to the Ardèche, and I ended up coming a little bit earlier because I was worried that the job might not go through if I didn't. Originally I was going to go back to the boat for a week, try sort something, because obviously then I'd be leaving it for quite a while. I'm still not sure what's going to happen. However, 2 hours after signing the contract, after all them possible days of this happening, 2 hours after signing the contract, my phone rings about this free boat. So this was actually about a week ago, asking if I could go over and if I'm at the port to meet the guy. So I'm like, I'm not. And it was like, can we make an appointment next week? Anyway, this conversation went on over a couple of days, and yesterday, because I could do with going back to the boat to get some stuff, because when I left it as well, I didn't plan that it was going to be for so long. So, and I need to put like some mouse or rat poison or something. I have to do something about that. But yeah, and I thought I was going to then still have to go back to this boat for the winter, and it's impossible for me to get all of my stuff off it and up to where I am. If I had more time, I might have tried to find somewhere to store the stuff down there, but as I said, the opportunity was too good and I had to come up. So yesterday I've rang them back and I've said, look, I thought he wanted to go to Toulon, so it would be where he wanted to sign the boat papers over at the place where they register who owns the boat. At the time, I think I said that it doesn't really work like that, you have to send the documents off. And he said in the most recent one that that place is actually closed permanently. So I said, okay, well, if I come down, is it, you know, are you going to have the papers? Because the first time he came, I think he planned to just sign the papers over. So really, what's actually going to happen now could have been done way back in January, like around about the 10th of January. I can't remember the exact date. And then the guy's like, yeah, if you come tomorrow, we've got all the papers printed and stuff ready to sign it over. So then I've said, look, okay, but can we arrange a time so I've got some time, because I'm then going to move stuff over, but I've only got a limited time because I'm at work. And the work situation is the campsite I'm on, I'm responsible for like 18 mobile homes, and they open on Saturday. So it's now Wednesday. So I was going to do this work in order to save enough money to buy a working boat, and I was looking at around 5,000. If I can take having to spend that 5,000 out of the equation and having this working boat, which I've said before, I reckon is worth about 4,000 anyway, that feels like it's still worthwhile to take it. Some people are going to say I absolutely shouldn't, but if I've got a boat sat somewhere, I'd rather it be a working boat, than then just having a not working boat somewhere. I need somewhere to store the stuff anyway. It's all a bit complicated. I'm a little bit stressed, but I think what I'm going to do is, after work today, I'm going to take the 5 hours, it takes probably longer, down there, arrive tonight. I really didn't plan that I'd arrive back at my boat at night time. So anyway, if I spend the chunk of the night time packing down my boat, unwiring things like the chart plotter and the radio, which I'll take with me to the other boat, if it's a night time, I can unwire the solar panels, etc. and stuff, and have everything then ready to move. If they come in the morning and it's quite a quick job, it'll give me a couple of hours to try and move as much as I can over to my boat. And if I try prioritize the important stuff, if I can get it all done, then I can give my boat, and I've got one working boat with all my stuff on it, rather than one not working boat with all of my stuff on it, if that makes sense. But it's just strange how everything has happened the way it's happened. But the other thing to consider is that was the plan, like, to do the boat trips. I needed a working boat. And then, do I necessarily need to do the 6 months work? But the same reasons that justified coming to do the 6 months work, actually, by the time this is done, I have about 5 months and a week left. In the grand scheme of things, it's not like I'm having to go for a year. I've actually done 3 and a bit months anyway. And what that means, and I might have explained, probably I've explained before, if I finish this contract, not only will I have approximately 7,000 euros saved up, but I'll also then, because of the way the French system works, some people might not agree with this, but you pay a lot into social security, and then it's renowned over here for seasonal staff. That on the French contract, it would then allow me probably for 8 months to still have around about, I don't know exactly, but because this wage is quite high, it's a percentage of your wage, and it's probably around about 1,300 per month coming in then for the following 8 months, and having somewhere to live in the winter. So financially, what we'll have done then is, by accident, gone from being in a broken boat there with no money, and a year will have passed in total from actually getting stranded there, and then by chance I've ended up going from this job, that then another job came from it, and then another job came from it. And as I've said, this one I'm doing now, it's not like it's something I really don't want to be doing. It's nice being back up in the Ardèche, minus the frogs that I keep seeing. It just makes sense, doesn't it, to try find a way to do that. If I can make a little deal with a port, and even if I can't get all the stuff moved over this time, there's a quiet week, I think, in May. Maybe I can do a similar sort of thing, go down after work one day, then have a day there, and then come back the following morning. Maybe then I've got enough time to get everything off the boat, and it's quite easy to give a boat away. Like, I've given one away before, and that one was an absolute mess. Also than this one. But yeah, it's like none of this was planned, was it? I thought I was here now, and yeah, I needed to go back and kind of make sure I had the valuables off the boat and stuff. But yeah, I might even be able to have one night in the new boat before then having to come back. But yeah, as I say, it's all a stress. I weren't meant to record this for so long like this, but I think I also need to stop being so careful about trying not to do that, because then I end up not recording anything a lot of the time. But that's the plan. Back down there 5 hours, sleep the night. If I slept in the other boat, would anyone care? Like, I don't have to sleep with a mice. Might do that. Shouldn't, but by the time this comes out, it will have happened or not happened. But as I say, I'm probably going to spend most of the night trying to get ready. So it's going to be a long day, because I've started early this morning, quite aware that this was the plan, because I've obviously got commitments here too. So yeah. But yeah, I did say that I needed to go get the stuff, and it makes sense to do it before being open, because once open, I'll always permanently have a phone and be on call. Now, I've done a similar job before where, you know, I managed to go and not be on the campsite I was on for the night, because I just made sure everything was done. But you can't fully always be in control of that, can you? And there's a difference between being back then half an hour down the road on the bike to a third of the way up France. Down. Yeah, no. I'm now a third of the way up France, but then obviously down at the bottom of France. So that's the plan. I'm just a little bit stressed. I've got the suitcases ready, so it's going to look to everyone like I'm leaving. I've got a golf buggy, but it's not working. I've tried to arrange everything so that no one's going to need me in the next day. And if it ends up being that I stay the whole day tomorrow, if I feel like that's going to give me enough time, because then I could work into the night a bit. My head's everywhere thinking, well, can I park the boat next to my boat, etc. But if I was to then stay the night, have a nap, get up early, do a little bit in the morning, and then like early morning, and then get back up here for like 1 o'clock, I can still do a day's work technically from like, so cut lunch out of it, and if I work until 9 o'clock on that day, and then actually some of the jobs I need to do can still be done at night time, like making beds. So I think I'm going to go, because I've got to go anyway, and if it's the wrong thing, it's the wrong thing. But I feel like maybe the port might be a bit understanding, because this was all obviously meant to happen ages ago, and had it have done, none of this would be happening as it is now. But maybe it's a good thing, because yeah, as I said, and it's the last time I'll say it and then I'll stop going on, the situation 5 months from now compared to what the situation was October, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months ago. And the next 6 months is going to be a lot easier than the last. The next 6 months is going to be a lot easier than the last 6 months. Yeah, well, I've missed being down on the water in the summer, etc. But if it means then, you know, and if I'm then not having to buy a boat as well, that money can either just wait, and because I don't need to spend a lot of money on that boat. maybe I just make it alright and don't make the same mistake like last time of pointlessly pumping money into it. But it works, and I obviously will need somewhere to live too in the winter. And there's nothing to stop me doing a bit of sailing, because I finish here September, and sailing's still possible in October, even November, even on days in December, January and February, do you know what I mean? As long as you're watching the weather. So yeah, and maybe I could sail it as I was gonna to Mallorca for the winter, or maybe even further. Everything I was meant to do last winter, not actually have spent much money on it. And if this was an option again for next year, and I haven't really dipped into that 7,000, because I will still have money coming in every month, another 7 grand in the bank, 14, maybe that's the best thing to do. But this boat has value in it, mine doesn't, this one does, so I'd almost be stupid not to take it. And I know people are going to see this and maybe not seen the other videos and tell me again how there's nothing worse than a free boat, and if that is the case, you can watch this video if it's on yet. I shouldn't say that like that, because I probably haven't put it on, but I watched it back last night. It's probably just a one-off little video of why that's not always necessarily the case. This boat, just briefly, has had the same owner for the last, did they say 26 years? They might have even said since it was produced, to be honest. I think it might have just had the one owner, and that's 76, so a long time, like. And yeah, no, that is what they said, and it's been maintained. The engine's in good condition. It's not the average free boat, like, it's not one where I've got to go do loads. The inside's nice, so decided that's what I'm doing. See what the ports say. But yeah, that's where we're at. So back on the train I go. Never spent as much time on trains as in the last few weeks. To from. Anyway, got a bit more work to do beforehand, and I'm just hoping the linen delivery I am waiting for today comes before the time I need to set off, because if it's after a certain time, I'll have to set off in the morning, which then I just lose that time to be able to pack the stuff down. But either way, I think I'd probably still go, because I need to pick some bits up and see what the port says. Saving a real train station. I seized an opportunity. So the linen guy, I said I was waiting for linen to be delivered. I remembered that their base is in Bouquet, which, where's the closest place to Bouquet? Maybe Nimes, which slashed the distance in half down towards the boat, and I was his last stop, so spur of the moment asked him if I could jump in his van, grabbed an empty suitcase, and now I'm in a place I've never been before, in a train station that looks abandoned. But we are closer than we was, so we might get there a bit earlier than I thought I was going to. Alright, so I got here after, seems like every time I try to get on a train it gets delayed. I haven't missed the sound of the Mistral flying through here. Right, he said to meet him at the boat at 11, so let's go see if he is here. Got some bin bags. Then there's a crisis. As I say, the rat or mouse, whatever. I think it's a rat. There's probably more than one in it. Has literally like chewed through everything. Put a white shirt on because last time took one look at me and I think I put him off, so maybe it'll make a little difference.
Bon, voilà,
Oui, oui.
ça c'est réglé. Nous l'envoie combien de dire?
Voilà, on l'envoie la semaine prochaine.
Ouais, le 28.
Le 23. Mardi. On le fait mercredi prochain.
Voilà.
Okay, so the moment we've been waiting for, the boat was signed over. That might be the most awkward you've ever seen me, and you've seen me in some awkward situations. Yeah, I don't know why it was a big let's go in, take loads of people with us and sign the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they've had that boat for a long time, and you know, it was quite important for them. And I think at the end of it all, they were quite happy I took it, although it wasn't as straightforward as it looks there. So you might be thinking, after that there'd be some footage of me coming out like really excited and stuff, and I was, and it was good. However, I had 4 or 5-ish months still to go back and work at the time, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, there's a bit of a stress because I've got 2 boats now in a port, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, the plan was to come down and move as much stuff as I could in this trip, as I didn't know when I'd be able to get back down again. And then actually when I'd said to them on the phone, look, I'll come down, but I need to know I can move stuff onto it when I come down. And then in the middle of signing it, they said, no, actually you can't do that now because we've not moved our stuff off it, and we won't be able to until the end of the month. So then it's like, uh-oh. So from there was a big old rush trying to mainly just prevent the rat or mouse, whatever, that I've said a lot about recently, from causing more damage, because it had caused a lot of damage at this point. So it was about doing as much as I could do to get that done. So there'll be a bit more of that coming up in the next episode. And yeah, free boat sorted. I will explain a bit further in an upcoming episode too, why this caused me a bit of a problem, and you know, going and doing that work was whilst thinking that this free boat probably weren't going to happen now, and was with the idea of, you know, buying another one at the end of it. So, you know, it was a case of what to do now sort of thing, but more coming in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.